What's up, Peloton? Welcome to Homecoming 2021, Day 3. I am so thrilled that you have taken the time to join us today for this incredible panel with three absolute legends in the sporting world, well, and in their personal world as well. They are just legends through and through. So, without further ado, because we have so much to talk about and so many accolades to introduce them with, let me introduce you to our three amazing guests joining us today. First and foremost, the man who really doesn't need much of an introduction, Usain Bolt. He is the world's fastest man. He is an 8-time Olympic gold medalist and 11-time world champion. I mean, really, wow, Mr. Usain Bolt is here with us, and that's incredible. Hey.
Happy to be here.
We
Happy
also
to
have
be
joined
here.
Thanks, Usain. All right, with us as well, we have the incredible Allyson Felix. Allyson is the most decorated track and field Olympian in history. Yeah, I know. She's a 9-time Olympic medalist and a world record holder, and an all-time inspiration to me in many ways, but as a super strong female in sport, I couldn't be more honored to be sitting here talking to you, Allyson, so thank you for joining us. And as well, we have another hugely inspirational female athlete to me, the wonderful Scout Bassett. Scout is a 7-time national champion. She's 2 American records, 1 world record, is a Paralympian track and field athlete, and is a current world record holder. I mean, Scout, I haven't got enough paper here to carry this on. But thank you to you as well. I follow you all on Instagram, and so I'm super fangirling right now about meeting you with the Olympic world right now coming into fruition again. So here we are. I know our Peloton community is going crazy about having you join us today. We're all remote. I mean, I would love nothing more than to be sitting in a room with you guys, but I think I would just giggle and just want to ask you really personal questions about training. So I'm kind of happy for my respect that it's through a screen. But it's so great. So thank you for taking the time. Have you guys all trained today? Have you already done some crazy workouts today?
Off day for me.
Hey.
I have a workout to do after this, so
Oh, there we go. There we go. A special workout though, right, you saying?
yes, a special workout.
Oh, amazing, amazing. Well, let's put your incredible accolades to the side for a minute. And we've had some incredible questions coming in from our community, but also questions that a lot of us want to know here at Peloton. So are we ready to kick off some of these questions? Awesome. All right, let's do it. Okay, so to each of you, we can roll through this one at a time. All 3 of you are Peloton members. I'm sure a lot of our members out there have seen you on leaderboards in various classes or have seen you post about it on your own Instagram accounts. But what we want to know is how you integrate Peloton into your personal training, and how does it prepare you to stay on top of the game? So, Scout, why don't you kick us off?
Well, first, I'm so honored to be here with all of you. This is such a treat for me. But how I incorporate Peloton workouts into my training is almost every day doing some sort of one of the classes, either before or after training, has been so helpful to prepare me for either the workouts ahead that I do at the track or the gym, or sometimes just winding down after practice and training, doing a yoga class, a stretching. And even on the off days, I really enjoy taking a strength or cardio workout just to stay moving and loose and not to feel too sluggish. So it's been really a great thing and a great asset to my training program.
Awesome. Wow, thank you. That's such an honor to know you guys use our workouts. It's still crazy to me. I've been here 3 years, but I still find it wild. Allyson, how about you?
Yeah, I echo what Scout said. Just really happy to be with you guys today. For me, I use it in a very similar way. I always have, being a sprinter, it's been hard for me to do some of like the longer runs and things. So Peloton has really like helped me with that. I was inspired by my husband to become a member. Shout out to the morning mob crew, who he rides with every single morning. And I would see him like, doing this. And I was like, wow, I think that like this would really help me. And it has, like, it's really transformed those longer runs for me, just being able to like follow along and, see the leaderboard and just have that sense of community. So I definitely use it for that. And then I love the intervals and the hit programs, just to incorporate that with what I'm doing on the track and kind of switch it up a little bit. And also being a mom, like I'm able to get that extra class in or extra ride in once I put my daughter down. It's perfect. Just like sneak down and get some more work in. So I'm like Scout. I'm on either my bike or my tread every single day, and just it allows me to put that extra work in.
I love that. Are you part of the Peloton Moms hashtag?
I'm not. I'm not yet, but I might add it on.
I know they're a fierce group. They would be honored to have you in
Yeah.
it. Amazing. And Usain, how about you?
Well, for me, the fact that I'm retired now, I couldn't get to the track all the time. You know what I mean? So I needed something to just work to get that work in. You know what I mean? To keep fit. So for me, that's how I really got into working with Peloton. I say I need something, and I was actually on YouTube and I actually saw a commercial, and I was like, you know what? I should get myself a Peloton. You know what I mean? And I could just put it right in my room. I would just roll out of bed and get on it and just get some work in. So for me, it was very good. So I don't have to travel all the way to the track. So for me, it worked out well, and it's hard and it's fun. It's very competitive, and I love it because I'm very competitive also.
I know that must be a really big thing for you guys when you're not like competing per se. Like obviously you're saying retired, but then for Allyson and Scout, you guys are not with people all the time, especially in this current climate. So to have that element of competition of other people pushing you around you, I mean, that must keep you on top of your game. Do you ever get super competitive though, and like really try and beat somebody on the leaderboard?
All the time, all the time, all the time.
Yeah.
The aim at the end of the day is to try to be number one. So it's hard though, because some people are really good at it. You know what I mean? They're really good at it. But for me, I live for the competition, so I always try my best. And
Yeah.
sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. But it's always just fun to try.
Yeah, same for me. Like I'm super competitive, but I feel like Peloton like quickly humbles you. Like I quickly remember, especially like when I'm on the bike, I'm like, this is so not what I do. So there, it's very inspiring, to see people and how incredible they are. But quickly, I always ask myself, I'm like, am I really a professional athlete? Because when I get in some of these classes, like I don't feel like it at all.
It's funny because I just being in competition now and I've started my season, track alone can be so competitive and I train in a pretty intense environment and group. And so I actually enjoy Peloton because it sort of takes me a little bit away from that, but seeing all the people that are doing a class at the same time or have done it, it's so motivating to me, just knowing that we're all in this together and we're sort of sweating and hustling and grinding together. And honestly, during the past year, it was really nice to have the app to do the workouts because so much of training was on my own in my apartment, and to be able to not feel so alone and to have somebody sort of coach you through it and see everybody else that was doing it, that was really a very comforting feeling, and I really love that about the community.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Oh my gosh, the humbling side of it. I'm really happy to hear that all of you guys as Olympians question your abilities when you get on the tread or the bike, because I mean, I know for a fact I do it every single time, especially when I get on the bike. I'm like, okay, I'm a runner. What am I doing on here? This hurts.
Yes.
So Scout, just you brought up there that your training is back. You're back on the track. You're getting into season now. So for both yourself and for Allyson, the 2021 Olympics and Paralympics are so different to any other games that we have seen in our lifetime and maybe we'll ever see again in our lifetime. So how did your training modify with the games being postponed a year? Like how did it affect you mentally, physically? What had to change?
First.
I'll go first.
Oh, okay.
So it's been quite a challenging past year, I think, for everybody. My experiences are certainly not exceptional in that sense, but just I think the mental aspect of it was almost more challenging than the physical grind. Doing something for another year, certainly that is physically demanding, but just to stay motivated, the grind, day-to-day grind is something that I've had to really sort of tune into, and certainly these games having to change our training has been really challenging, not having access to facilities for a good portion of the last year, and just knowing that these games are going to be such a different experience alone, and preparing, getting to meet has even been challenging, and having opportunities to compete. But I'm so excited about what's to come. And I know that regardless of what it's going to look like, Allison, myself, and Usain from home will be, they're going to see an amazing show, an amazing performance, and hear some incredible stories. So I think it's really going to be a great opportunity to really lift the world up and just provide so much hope and inspiration. And that's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah,
Amazing.
and I completely agree. It was just really challenging. I mean, I think we all can relate to training really hard for something and then it was taken away. And so just like being able to like take time and space to like grieve that moment. Like it's not going to look like what we had imagined. And as athletes, like so much of it is timing. And so all of your energy, like you change so many real life things to be able to have the opportunity. And for me, it was like, wow, I'm going to do this another year. Like, do I have that in me? And just taking the time to kind of grieve that loss and then regroup and pivot and say like, okay, it's not canceled, it's postponed. Like, how am I going to get better in this time? Like, how can I really take advantage of it? And just really trying to embrace that. And some days are great and you can push through, and some days it's like I can't. Like I have to be kind to myself and give myself, a little bit of grace. So it's challenging. I know it's been challenging for the whole entire world, but now it feels hopeful, and it feels in a really great place. And having had that extra year to get stronger and to get more workouts in and all of that feels really good. Trying to get to the other side of it finally.
I absolutely love that you brought that up. I mean, I know a lot of our members, especially on the running side, have reached out to us and they've been so upset about their races that they trained so hard for being cancelled. Some people doing their first ever races, and it takes a lot to do your first ever race. It's a really daunting thing. So to have that taken away from you, I know a lot of us were grieving, as you said, that loss. But what you just said there, Allyson, about how can I get better at this? How can I use this year to get better? Is such a wonderful way of thinking about it. And I hope that a lot of our members heard that, because there still are races being postponed. They're not cancelled, they're postponed. There will be another chance to do it. But just utilizing this, I'm going to put it in parentheses, extra time to get better on our training and mentally as well, getting stronger of dealing with it is such a light. Thank you for saying that. That's, I'm sure, inspired so many people to be like, you know what, I got this. I can do it in a few months.
Yeah.
Oh. So you're saying your training has modified, but from 2017, right? When you chose to retire from the sports, and what's changed for you since then? How's your training modified from then until now?
For me, it's all about trying to stay fit. For me, that's the key thing. I know what it takes to be a champion. I know the hard work, but for me now, it's just a lot more relaxed. Trying to stay in shape. Um, for me, just going to the track and seeing the guys train is always a good thing. I train with them sometimes, just to get the feel and just to get the energy, you know what I mean, and try to motivate them. As Alison was saying, it's been a tough year. You know what I mean? I've seen all these guys train, and then Olympics got postponed. But it's really tough for them. But a lot of them are refocusing now. They're excited for trials coming up, and then to go to the Olympics. So for me, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to watch it. I know it's going to be a great show. I know they're going to put on a wonderful show, but it's just been rough for everybody. But I'm excited to see what's about to come.
For sure. Usain, how do you find some motivation without having a race or an event to specifically train for? What motivates you to go down and get that workout done, or roll out of your bed and pop on your Peloton, whatever it is? What's your driver?
For me, so throughout my life, I always make goals. And for me, what I do is I make bets with my friends. You know what I mean? That's one thing. And I've always tried to stay under a certain weight. You know what I mean? So I make bets like I say, all right, we need to lose 10 pounds this week, or we need to burn this amount of calories. So I do make bets with them, and we do like just compete and see who can be the best in the week or by the end of the month. So these are the things that I do to try to motivate myself to continue working and continue working out on my Peloton. You know.
That's amazing. I guess that's kind of a little bit like how the community works. Like I know
Exactly.
with not being able to go to gyms or seeing friends, it's like you put these dates in where you are going to jump on a ride or a strength class or a run or whatever it is with your friends. And that's a motivator of, I can't let my friends down. I've got to go and do this because otherwise,
Yeah.
what am I going to look like if I don't show up for
Exactly.
that?
Exactly. It's one of those
Well,
things.
I'm
Like
happy that
it's
the
just,
tracks.
you know what? The other day I was on my Peloton and randomly, it was an offline class. I just picked a class and I was competing. So it shows who's in the class with you. And I got into a competition with this guy. And for me, when I ended, I won, but it took so much out of me. But I felt so good. I felt so good after. It was wonderful. So that's why it's so much fun. You know, you never know what's gonna happen. So it's
No.
it's always when I'm looking to go back on. I start following him just because of that. I was like, you know what? Next time I'm on, I hope he's on again so we can go at it again. So it's one of those things. I love it.
Brilliant. Oh my goodness me. I hope that member knows that they are spurring on a
Yeah.
absolute champion in the form of Usain Bolt. Oh, there goes my iPod. Oh my goodness. I find when you take those classes that are on demand, I never know which leaderboard I want to look at, whether I want to look at the here now or what the leaderboard that shows everybody who's taken it in the
Yeah.
past, because they're like tiny chance that I've taken the class before and I see myself. That is when it's going to go down, because I forget everybody else on the leaderboard and I'm like, I've got to beat Bex from 3 weeks ago because she's got to go down
Exactly.
now. So weird what motivates us. So talking of like motivation and all this crazy training that we're doing to ourselves, what do your rest days look like? What are your off days? How do you kick back? How do you put your feet up? How do you give back to your body from all of this stress that it goes under when you're training hard? Scout, today's your off day. You kick us off.
Well, I'm actually going to do a Peloton workout after this. So,
Hey.
on my off days, I really enjoy taking actually one of the classes. I am not born to sit still. I don't sit still very well. And so, just doing nothing, like Netflixing and chilling on my couch, is not something I'm very good at. But as a result, I like to stay active even on my rest days because it really helps me. So my rest days are usually a Saturday or Sunday or just Sunday, and then I'm back to full training on Monday. But I find that if I do some sort of a class movement, even if it's just a yoga or whether it's a hit cardio class or a strength class, that by Monday I feel loose, I'm not sluggish, my muscles aren't as sore, and I'm ready to go, for the week ahead. And so I really enjoy just, I believe in staying moving even on your rest days, just so that you're not fatiguing or getting too sluggish. But when I'm not doing those things, I'm a huge sports junkie. I love watching sports, especially baseball. And that's usually what I'm doing on my off days.
Amazing. What team do you support?
I'm a huge Atlanta Braves fan. I started following the team when I was 9 years old going to the games, and still to this day die hard. So it's pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of embarrassing how die hard I am. But I know Allison's a diehard Lakers fan, so she can understand.
It's true.
That's
For
incredible.
sure.
Um, Scout, I have a question about like the fact that you move on your rest days, which is so super important, and I
Yes.
completely agree. But did it take you a little bit of time to figure out what level of movement intensity worked for you on your rest days? Because I know a lot of our members
Yes.
struggle with actually
Mm.
taking a day off, but they don't understand the difference between a day off not being complete Netflix and chill, gonna eat everything in front of my
Right.
face sort of day off,
Yes.
or like active day off, a gentle day. So
Um,
how did you get to that
yes.
point of understanding?
Well, first of all, that's a great question. And second of all, I also fully endorse cheat meals. And I do think it's important to, I think it's important to indulge in things you enjoy, just in moderation, of course. But the way I look at it is if you were to put it on a scale of like 1 to 5, 5 being the most intense and you should be at about like a 2 or 3. That's how I gauge myself in terms of the activity level and the intensity level of what the activity should be. And because it is important for your body to rest, to decompress, especially for me. Mondays are my really high volume days of training and running. And so I just try to do at about a 2 or 3 level of activity so that I feel loose. I don't let the muscle fatigue or just get too sore, but I'm not so exhausted that I wake up and I'm just like, oh, I can't move. So that's usually how I gauge it.
Great, thank you. I know a lot of people will be scribbling notes down for that. Allyson,
I
how about you as a mom as well? I'm sure it's a difference this rest day now for you, but how is it for you?
Yeah, life has definitely completely changed. Rest, yeah, rest. There's no rest, but definitely from being being on the track. And for me, like I do have a day, which is usually my Sunday, where I do completely rest. Like I don't do any activity. I just really stay off my feet. And it did take me time to get to the point where I understood the balance of, active recovery days. As a younger athlete, I just felt like I always needed to be working hard. And I only understood that to be, putting in volume, doing speed work, all of these things. And then I realized that, you can't, especially as a runner, you can't do all that pounding without taking care of your body. And so I have the day, usually Sunday, that's completely off. And then Wednesday is like an active recovery day. So that's the day where I'll do a longer run. And for me, as a sprinter, a longer run is 20 minutes. So I'm usually taking a
I'm so
usually taking
jealous.
a class. I'm usually taking a class on the tread, to get through that, and that really helps me because all of the amazing instructors who coach me up through that. Bex, I can't always do your classes because they are much longer than I can always go, but sometimes I'll pop in and try to keep up. But that's typically what it looks like, and then. On those days that I am completely off, I might do like a stretch or a yoga or something just to, really show my body some love. But rest is so important. And I wish that I would have understood that, when I was younger. But even, as a more mature athlete now, it's really just key and critical to be able to keep performing at a high level.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm with
I
you.
just want to
I'm a
say,
Sunday off
my
day.
coach would love you guys. My coach would love you guys. Like active rest, I hated that. My coach would call me up on my day off and say, "Do something." I'm like, "It's my day off. Can I get the day?" You know what I mean? Oh my God, it's crazy. When it's rest day, I do absolutely nothing.
Love it.
Nothing.
Love that. Like literally nothing. You saying? Are you a Netflix and chill guy on your day off?
I'm that guy. Yes, I'm that guy. I binge every series in sight. I'm that guy. I just
Well, if it works
stay
for
in
you,
bed.
then we all need to take
Yeah.
notes.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
clearly.
I get my Gatorade and my water and my laptop, and that's it. And maybe some snacks, and I just all day. That's it.
Oh,
All day.
wow.
That's the key. That's the key.
Yeah, maybe that is the secret. We just need to like put our phones down and get away from our
Yeah,
coaches and be like,
yeah,
no, not I'm not an athlete today. This is it.
yeah.
Take note, people. All right, so let's switch it around to away from the rest days and the relaxing. Let's put that competitive athlete hat back on and think about. I want to ask you guys how it feels mentally preparing for huge sporting events, these competitive sporting events where you're seeing athletes from around the world. You are potentially towing the line with athletes who you've look up to and inspire as well. I'm sure it's everybody. But how Usain, how did you used to prepare for these huge events?
For me, the key thing was always just training. You know what I mean? If I know
Mm.
that I'm in good shape, if I know that I put the work in, then for me mentally, I'm already happy. I'm already in a good place. You know what I mean? So that for me was always a key. Just putting in the work, and then when I get to the championship, my coach always tells me that it's all about muscle memory at that time. There's nothing else you can do when you get there. So for me, it's just putting in the work, and you'll be fine. That's how my mental space was. The only time I got nervous, unless I got injured throughout the season, I'm not sure if I'm in the best shape, then I might get a little bit nervous. But preparing is just hard work, dedicating, getting rest also, and just being mentally strong as you possibly can.
Yeah, amazing. Allyson, how about you?
Yeah, I completely relate to that. To me, like my preparation is my confidence. And for me, I write down all my workouts. I just log everything. And then before I get to that big championship, I look back at all the work I did. And like you said, like that's where it's done. Like you get to the big stage, you get to the performance or whatever. And now it's just like you show the world. There's so much confidence in knowing that you did everything possible, that you did all the stuff when no one was looking. That's the hard part of it all. And there's like a sense of peace in knowing that that's done, and now now you perform, and you put it all out there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Uh,
And Scout, how about
uh,
you?
both really great points made. I am a full believer in, the preparation, and I still get anxiety. I don't have the benefit of lining up to a 100-meter line and knowing there's no way I'm going to be defeated, unlike a couple of us here. But anyways, but the point being is that even when you do have anxiety, if you are nervous, that you have to trust that you've done the work, and that doesn't just go away, and it doesn't go away overnight. And for us, putting in years of our lives devoted to this, you trust that kind of preparation, the hard work, and that doesn't disappear on race day. So always, trust in that, believe in that. But also, I'm a big believer in putting as much training into the mental aspect of your craft as it is the physical aspect. And I think that's really, really crucial, and it's been a huge part of my success is devoting as much time as I do to the physical training as what I'm doing to train my mind to be strong, to be resilient, to look at challenges or obstacles or physical discomfort and pain and say, I can push through, I can overcome. And I think maybe not enough people think about that. They just beat their bodies up, and then they don't think what they're doing to train their mind. And I think for me, whether it's working with a sports psychologist or talking to my team or whoever it is that helps to lift you up, gives you those positive reinforcements in your life, helps you to believe, to build your confidence. That's what you have to surround yourself with. And that's a big part of the mental aspect of training, of preparing for a race, of really doing anything in life.
I love that. I love that all three of you are big believers in the fact that it's almost an internal conversation about realizing the hard work was done, as you said, Alison, when no one was watching. and it shouldn't matter. I hate the word should when it comes to training, but when the big day arrives, everything was done behind the scenes, and literally all you have to do is one more event, and that's it. That's the like this mental toil of, okay, yes, it's on the big stage, but if you trust that everything that you've done, you see it in your journal, you talk to your coach, as Usain did, and you think back to everybody you've spoken to lift you up, then I love that feeling, and I love the message that that should be your mental strength, that you have got this before the gun goes off.
Yeah.
A lot out there. So let's get to some nitty gritty, because I mean, I know, Allyson, you've already said that you don't do some of my classes because they're so long, and I love that 20 minutes is your long run. I think I'm gonna have to have a word with my coach, because these like 24-mile runs he's got me doing, seriously. But what are your least favorite parts of each of your training workouts, and how do you get yourself through those like gritty, eye-rolling, miserable workout days? Usain, go for it.
Well, no, I don't have that problem. I don't have to stress about that. But back, back in the days, for me, it was anything over 400 meters. I That was my problem. You know, I mean, anytime my coach says like we have to run a 500 or a 600, I'm like, no, I do not want to do this. But for me, what I always tell myself throughout my workout, especially when it comes to the last one, I always just keep reminding myself, do you want to be a champion? Do you want to be Olympic champion? I want to be a champion. I want to be a champion. I continue telling myself that, just to motivate myself. Because at times it's the last one, and my coach always says to me, the last one is where you improve. So for me, he always, no matter how tired I am, he always pushes me to do the last one, no matter no matter what. And that's something I've learned when I was competing, just to push myself, just to remind myself, you want to be Olympic champion, you want to be nighttime Olympic champion, you have to work, you have to finish this one. So I always just repeat that to myself throughout my workout, no matter how tired or hard it is. That's how I get through my workout, really.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that last workout. I think I know I said in most of my classes, but especially those long ones, the like 60-minute classes. I'm saying it to myself as much as I'm saying it to the members in that last 10 minutes of like, I
Yeah,
know this is really hard right now, but
I
push through, because this is where the
That's
changes are
true.
going to happen.
Exactly. Exactly.
Amazing. Allyson, how about you on the track?
Yeah, I have a very similar feeling as you saying, definitely being sprinters. I don't want to pass, where I started. That's not fun for me. So that, and then also like we would do these like mile time trials towards the beginning of when we started training, and it'd be like every Monday a mile time trial, and it would give me such anxiety. Like I would be thinking
Oh
about it
yeah.
over the weekend, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is awful. I don't want to do this. So that was definitely one of the workouts that I absolutely hated. I just felt like I was not made to go that long. But again, like it's those workouts that really challenge you. And for me, it's like it's getting outside of my comfort zone. Like, yes, I love to go fast. I love the 200. That's where, I feel very comfortable. But really by pushing myself in some of these workouts and just saying like, okay, like go a little further, like give a little more, see where you can take this. I think that really stretches you as an athlete. And it's good to do some things that scare yourself. And so that's why I do pop in your class sometimes. I try to like push myself to go, whether it's a 30-minute class or, just a little bit beyond what I'm used to just continue to become stronger. And I always just want to, just get out of that little box that I'm used to.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Amazing. And Scout, what about you?
Well, like Allison and Usain, I'm, just like them in the sense that when I know there's a tough workout ahead, and the worst days are the ones that, or the hardest days are the ones where you roll out of bed and just every fiber of your being hurts and you have such a heavy load that day and you don't know how you're going to do it. At least that's me. Somehow you just push yourself and you put one foot in front of the other and you continue to push forward. But for me, I think what really helps me on those days where it does physically or mentally feel challenging or difficult is knowing everything that I've overcome in my past and in my life on this journey, that I've been through some really hard things and gone through so much adversity off the track. And honestly, that's really such a source of power and strength for me, knowing that anything on the track I have to do is going to be somewhat easy in comparison to the things that I've had to overcome off the track. And I hope that's an encouragement for members out there that, take everything that you've gone through in your life, your experiences, the hardships, and those things can really push you forward. They can be your motivation to keep going, to know that you've gone through other hard things. And a workout is, just a step along the way and something, that is very doable, and it becomes just a little bit less daunting in that sense. But that's really what pushes me and keeps me going forward on the hard days.
That is, I love the fact that each of you, though, it's about the mental strength of that being the best you can be. From Usain saying, do you want to be an Olympian? Like asking himself, do you want to be an Olympian, or do you want to go home and sit down and get on your laptop? Like, no, that's saved for one day of the week. The other 6 days of the week, the answer is yes. And it's that undoubted self power that you have to get from wherever you get it from, whether it's the pit of your stomach or the pit of your heart or whatever it is, to bring out the best in you no matter what. And whether as scouts relating it to other things away from sports, I think a lot of our members come to their Peloton equipment as an escape, and they find some strength that they didn't know that they had in getting that escape, which I love personally, and I know that helps their mental well-being and their mental, I think their mental dexterity off the tread or the bike when they get to. I know I don't have kids, Allyson, but I can imagine when you're a mom and you're super tired from training and frustrated with kids not going to sleep or not eating or not listening. That mental power to just, okay, I'm just going to be the best mom I can be right now, and you can harness that in every way of your life.
Definitely.
So, okay, from each of you, I'm going to ask you to give me a one-liner of what you would say if you got to meet one of our members. What would you say to them to be absolutely on top of their game? What would be your one-liner for that? Usain, go for it first. I can see you thinking.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my God. What would I say? A one-liner? I don't know. Could you come back to me? I'm blanking right now.
Yeah.
Come back to me on this one.
Think about it.
Okay,
I'll
go. I'll kick us off. I think I would say just it's all in the preparation, because I think that's kind of like what we've all been talking about to me, that's like what's been so helpful with Peloton. It's like you jump on every day, you take all these classes, and it's leading you to, whatever your personal goal is. And maybe that's to go out and run a race, or maybe that's just to be fit and healthy. But it's all in that every day of, putting it all together and having a plan. So I would just say remember, it's all in the preparation.
Love that. All in the preparation from Allyson Felix. Scout Bassett, what have we got?
That's so good. I would say never give in. Never give in to your doubts, your insecurities, your fears, the opinions or thoughts, criticisms that you may hear from others, or even your own perceived limits. If you don't give in to those things, you're going to continue to be a champion, not only in sport and activity, but also in life.
I love that. Oh my goodness. I love that. All right, Usain, have you got one?
Well, for me, it's what I live by. Is anything is possible. Don't think limits. Growing up, I never knew that I was going to be this great. because I set limits for myself at the time. I just wanted to be a 200-meter Olympic champion. And that was it for me. So, and the
Yeah.
more I worked, the more determined I got, the higher I climbed. So just to believe in yourself. Don't set limits for yourself. Just aim for the sky and just continue working towards your dreams, and you will get there.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I hope somebody is quoting all of these down for us. All right, one more quick question that I want to ask you. This is actually a Peloton member question that we've selected. Do you have a favorite Peloton class or a favorite Peloton moment so far? Allyson.
For me, it was Tunde's and Alex's Beyonce class. I just had the best time. It was so good. Like
Right?
all my
Oh
friends,
my
like we
gosh.
were all like, taking it together, and me and my
Yeah.
husband were on our bikes together. It was just like this iconic moment. So I had so
Oh,
much fun in
it was. I agree. That is up there for me as well. Scout.
Mm. I think for me, it's more of a moment or series of moments. I really enjoy the strength and the cardio classes, whether it's with Jess Sims or Chase Tucker. I've taken a couple of your classes, and
Mhm.
being an athlete with a disability, sometimes I'm nervous to take these kind of classes because I know some of the movements are going to look a little bit differently for somebody like myself. And I remember the first time that I took a class, um, we were the one of the movements was mountain climbers, and I have a prosthetic knee on one side and an anatomical knee on the other side, and I hadn't really ever tried mountain climbers before, but I just figured out a way to adapt where I changed sort of the movement on the prosthetic side to do a little bit of a different motion than on my anatomical side. And it was such a cool moment for me of like, I don't need to be afraid and or how it's going to look like or what it's going to look like. If I have to make some changes or adaptations to a movement, that's okay as long as I'm getting the same effect and benefit. And that just gave me so much encouragement. And I was like, I love this. I can do this. And just also
Oh,
working my mind to make those adaptations.
yeah. That's amazing. Yes. Thank you for that.
Well,
Usain?
well, for me, I do most of my classes with Ali Love, and because she has proper like reggae
Yeah.
music vibe, you know what I mean?
She does.
And
Yeah.
and my stand-up moment is what I told you earlier. You know what I mean? The fact that I can just meet somebody random and we compete so much. And it was last week. I was just
Yeah.
on it. So for me, it's always so exciting just to be and watch the leaderboard and see who's really challenging. So it's always so much fun.
Yeah. Oh, love it so much. Well, I cannot wait to see what you guys, well, we're going to go into this a little bit more shortly, but what's coming up over the next few months is going to be incredible. And I know our members are going to be super pumped for it. Now, I am sitting here with three incredible athletes, and to my Peloton family, a lot of you guys know that for me personally, I was invited to join the marathon trials for Great Britain earlier this year, 5 weeks ago or so. And Peloton wanted to do a docuseries about my journey to the trials, coming from runner slash Peloton instructor slash very normal girl here. And we're going to show a little teaser about it coming up. And so I really haven't even seen any of this, so I'm going to be completely hiding behind this right now. But listening to all of you guys, I just want to say thank you for that inspiration, for being the best, because I didn't make the time. I was 2.5 minutes too slow to make the Summer Games this year. But I know that, I gave my all, absolutely, left everything out there. But to be the best is something that continuously goes through my mind. And I was honored enough to get to the trials, and I'm going to keep fighting. A lot of what you've said today has given me a lot of motivation to maybe keep going, even though I'm 35 and have a lot of time against me here. But let's have a look at this teaser. I'm going to hide for a minute. How am I feeling? It's a melting pot of nerves. I need to run a 2:29:30 to qualify for the games. My last PR was a 12-minute PR from 2:49 down to 2:37 from Boston to New York. And that was a gigantic jump already. To take 9 minutes off again, it's still a scramble in my brain to even compute that, but I do believe it's possible. I've done the hard work, getting faster, but also enjoying it. There's more and more things on my shoulders, but if you'd have told the kid that ran like this, she'd be a 2:37 marathoner and there could be more in the tank, I'd have fallen over laughing at you. Wow. Oh my goodness me.
You used to run like
Well,
this.
So good.
I did. I used to run like I was swimming. I'm sure
That was
my mom
awesome.
could share some really embarrassing videos. But team, that's coming out shortly. But I just want to take this time to thank you all for joining us today. We have a special shout out to our leaderboard. You guys are going to be joining us for a special leaderboard filter, which means that you can find special guests in class coming up. So I know that all of these three, Usain, Allyson, and Scout, are going to be present in classes in the future. If you wanted to join into Alex's class this afternoon, I think Usain Bolt might be going there, maybe. Who knows? We can filter and find him out. But jump in for high fives with all of them. Scout will be in some, Allyson will be in some in the future. It's going to be so, so exciting. We have a great summer ahead of us, but for today, to all three of you, I'm personally incredibly honored to have spent this time with you. I know our members are thrilled to have learned from you, listened to you, and are going to be taking your words as gold going forward. Allyson and Scout, I wish you the most incredible experience this summer. I wish you all the best with the rest of your training. And Usain, enjoy your day off.
For sure. It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Have a wonderful
Thank you
day.
all.
See you soon. Bye, Peloton.